Welcome to Klana's Pleasure Hour. Klana, that's me. In this show, we explore conscious sexuality, body, mind, and spirituality, and how this is connected with pleasure and our personal growth and our relationships. Discover how to have more pleasure, more harmony in your relationships, and an amazing and fulfilling sex life. This is Klana's Pleasure Hour, and I am Klana, the Pleasure Alchemist. I work with men, women, and couples who want to change something in their lives, and they, especially in their relationships and intimacy wise, and then have a fulfilled sex life. And here he is. Let me just finish my introduction. So, with this series, Klana's Pleasure Hour,
God.
I am inviting guests every Tuesday and every Saturday at 7 p.m. Europe time, and it is noon Central Time in the US. So that you, my friends, get additional value. So, and today I am so happy to see Dr. Vinnie Monaco here after having had a little bit of tech issues. And my guest, he has been a chiropractor and a coach, a comedian, and a Chippendale. He is irreverent, outrageous, and a whole lot of fun. Yes, definitely. We know each other for a while, and it's always fun. Mostly, not always, but mostly. So, and
Yes.
he's here today to ignite your aliveness. So, welcome.
Yes.
This,
And I forgot the matches.
oh, nah, yeah, we will find something that will work.
Yes, we will. Oh gosh. This is what's so hilarious is Kalana, I'm on this tour
Oops.
and our mentor had that we both have had suggested the title,
Yeah.
which was Show Up and Screw It Up Tour.
And here we are.
And I'm batting 1,000 here.
This is so hilarious. But there you also see that you need to be very careful with your thoughts and your words because it might become reality.
Well, this is true. So I don't know if it's because he suggested the title or if it's an affirmation that his well, I know that you and I both have a history with technology that somehow
Yeah, so we will see what kind of, not we will see, we already saw it. There must be some interference in our vibration because it didn't work today.
who knows? Who knows? It's what also because I remember him saying as well is that goes by to oh, what was the Pauli principle? It was Wolfgang Pauli who had that same effect on the machines way back when, and that actually led to the discovery of quantum mechanics and quantum physics because there was this and I can't remember if I think he worked with Jung to assist him in coming to an awareness or an understanding of his vibration and how it was impacting on things.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Which actually is perfect for our conversation today, based on you being the pleasure alchemist and also the abilities I've had as a chiropractor and a coach and a comedian, working energetically with people's state, with people's emotions, with people's mental thoughts, and in the physical realm as well. So
Yeah. And but your real passion is the stage, isn't it?
of course, of course. I mean, that, from the time I was a kid, that was my dream, was like just to be a comedian, an actor, be on stage, be in film. And then, of course, parents get a hold of you, and then you need some reality here. You need something to fall back
Oh,
on.
yes,
So,
yes, yes, of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
thus became the chiropractic profession.
Hmm. And then what turned it around?
What turned the chiropractic profession
Yeah,
around,
no,
or
I
what turned my
mean,
life around?
yeah. So you are more and more into the comedian, back to the comedian.
Well, it's always been that. What was amazing is, even when I was in undergrad, as they say, in college, university, I had a minor in theater and also in communications, so I could do radio broadcasting, TV broadcasting. When I first was going to chiropractic college, I had assumed it's going to be these straight-laced, really uptight, scientific. And what I found in chiropractic colleges, majority of them were actors, musicians, dancers, comedians that also had a desire, but their parent or grandparent had said, you need something to fall back on. And so they were just as wild, as nuts, as crazy as I was. And so I think in my second trimester, third trimester, they had a talent show, and I got to see how talented these other men and women were.
Mhm.
And I'm like, wow, they are just as crazy as I am. So it actually did allow me to be on stage. And one of my a good friend, who was a great writer, we were in, I think, 2 or 3 years in a row. He had written a skit that I kind of helped tweak with him, but man, it became the funniest thing aside from my own stand-up stuff that we did at chiropractic college. So yeah, that that kind of fueled it even more. And then, of course, being uh, a male stripper and working at the Chippendales Club a couple of times as well, it's like, holy crow, like, wow.
Between all those women who were crazy, yeah?
Well, it's, yeah, I got to learn a lot about, there's a certain side that women show, and then there's there's another side that you only get to see in certain environments, and it was just like, whoa. So
Is it?
they are definitely wilder than the men.
Oh, are they?
Hmm.
Hmm. Can you tell us a little bit without going too much into detail?
Well, well, from as being an observer and a spectator at times, I've gone to gentlemen's clubs, strip clubs, and on occasion you'll get some men that'll get a little too feisty, a little too much alcohol, a little too um, trying to take, not trying to take advantage, but trying to get something from the girls.
Hmm.
And very quickly, the bouncers come, and the guy is thrown out. Uh, at a lot of the shows that I went to, the girls would get very wild, and a little bit of alcohol, and the bouncers wouldn't throw them out. It's like, and you had to just be aware that, okay, there's certain laws that if the G string got ripped off, you could get arrested. So it was just how to how to negotiate that you could remove yourself without
That happened.
getting arrested. And then, of course, the private parties, the home parties, well, then there's no rules. No one's going to come in and arrest. And it's just like, holy crow. Wow.
So,
Wow.
and this is definitely part of taking off your stress, isn't it? Our
Absolutely.
title
Well,
today, taking off your stress and unleash your success. So, and
unleash the
yes, and
success.
where's that
What
link to the success?
Well, where I see that it links is that we are all vibration.
Hmm.
Going back to quantum physics, we're all energy systems, we're all vibration. And when we were first born, I mean, you could see it in every little baby. You can see it in kids up to, around the age 4 or 5, before our educational system comes and starts to dim our lights. But, they are lit up. There's a video I did a few days ago with where I'm staying, the family here. The little girl's 4. And you could just see in the interview where I said, let's play adult, and we need to get in touch with this relationship. It's not good. And she just played She didn't
Yeah.
even go into the topic. She just told her own story. And what was cool to observe that was she didn't once go into the drama that I was play acting.
Yeah. And isn't that
And as
cool?
adults, yeah,
That
it is so
this
cool.
is
It is,
exactly how you get out of the stress when you have a stressful situation with your partner or your spouse.
yeah, you don't
Just
go
don't
into
go
it.
into it.
You don't go into it. And yet, as adults, we're just, it's like someone dangling the little piece of meat or the star. Oh, and I guess I got better go there. And and that's what I see is that we're this vibration that is bright, it's love, it's joy, and we've learned to not be in that. And when we are like that little girl is, we actually attract all the people that want to hang out with us. We attract all the things that the universe has to bring, and money is one of them.
Yeah.
But when we're stressed and we're tense and we're tight, we actually shut off our own aliveness. We shut off our own magnets and actually create the opposite. It polarizes, it pushes everybody away, it pushes everything away.
Hmm. This is so true. And it's on one side totally easy because you see it, you cannot
Yes,
see it with children in an instant, they change their mood.
yes.
And so can we, but we are so determined to be in the drama that it's quite
Well,
difficult.
what I also observed too from, and this is where the chiropractic kind of helped, is it's these learned patterns that sometimes we're conscious of them, many times we're not. And so where we get conscious, if we become aware of it and then we don't do anything about it, well,
Yeah,
now we're buying into it.
yeah.
But many times we get triggered in a certain perspective, in a certain belief, and we want to prove that we're right. It's like trying to
Mm.
protect ourselves. And so, we fluff up the feathers and it's like, no, I'm taking a stand
Yes.
and I am gonna prove that I'm right. And the amount of energy, the amount of angst and struggle and effort to hold on to that, you're just like going, what? And so that video with the little girl, it's like as much as I was, we're play acting, but I'm holding on to that position. She didn't even go there. She wasn't even aware that that's what she is supposed to do.
You can watch that video on Vinnie's page, Facebook
My
page,
Facebook
yes.
page.
And maybe, if possible, I'm going to share it too, so that you can see it on my page
Cool,
too.
cool.
It's really a good learning experience how children handle those situations. We can learn
Well,
so much from children.
she's such a wise soul,
Yeah.
well, and here we think as adults, we have to educate them.
Uh,
We have to prepare them for this world.
they can
And
they can educate
when we
us.
look but when we look back on it, what did we actually learn in school? Now, I know some of my teacher friends are like, "Well, no, no, but what did we learn? Did we learn how to people read? No. Did we learn about relationships?
No.
No. Did we learn about how to flip the mood from a heavy negative space into a positive uplifting space? No.
Mm-mm.
Did we learn about moving money? No. Like, what the heck did we learn? Dates of battles,
Yeah.
history, mathematics. Okay, but did we learn to balance a checkbook? No. Did we learn how to measure out or how to build a house? Unless you did shop. So like, oh,
Yeah. Actually, we unlearned all the things we already had. And
that's
and
right.
now
That's
if you
right.
start waking up and see and realizing that, then you start relearning that or unlearning the stuff that's not useful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You just drop it away, drop it away, drop it away.
So, Vinny, we come both out of the same school where we learned really cool communication tools,
Yes.
and we are both teaching them. I especially teach them for women how to
Yes.
communicate better with men so that you can have a good relationship. And what you are doing now on your tour? Do you have something like that
Well,
in your program, or how do you
well, there's a couple,
what's
there's a
shown
couple of
coming
things.
up?
Thank you for asking. Well, what's interesting, the last tour that I did when I was I started off in Ibiza 3 years ago, and in a dinner one day, it came up that back 10 years ago, I had taught about 10, it was 10 or 12, and I don't know, I don't think you were at that class, 2009,
No.
but I taught about 10 men to do a striptease. The challenge was to do like a full Monty, but not the full Monty. It was just to teach, and I think it was mostly German men. I think there was one American guy besides myself. And so German men are not known for rhythm and polkas, yes, rhythm not necessarily. But it worked. The women in the audience loved it. At that time, it saved three of the marriages, and it was like amazing. So the story was being told of what a legend that was.
Yeah,
And so
heard
some of
that.
the men at this dinner party were like, "Hey, could you teach us again?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then there was a few women there that said, "Hey, well, could you teach the women as well?" And I'm like, "Sure, I could do that. I've coached women before." So when it came time for the men to show up, none of them showed up. They were like, "Oh, I feel a little self-conscious. I wanted to jump. I didn't want to strip in front of another guy." I'm like, the whole point was to teach you so we could put on a show for the women. Duh. But anyway, the women came and to learn, and one woman was 72. She didn't want to strip. She just wanted to be
Yeah.
coached on dancing. And to this day, she didn't speak any English, so she had to have a translator. She's from Germany, and she goes all over Germany at the different festivals and just does her dance, and she's just amazing. So as a result of that, every city that I went to, they wanted me to teach them how to strip. So it became, rather than saying stripping, we called it feminine aliveness,
Hmm.
which was just having them get into their rhythms. And because of my background with the chiropractic and physiology, it's just giving them feedback. And man, the transformation in the women was just amazing. So that's part of this tour. Is like we have that coming up. There's also a workshop coming up, I think in a week or two. My uh, project partner, Leah, is handling all the details of that. But it's harmonious partnership.
Exactly. Here we are.
Because when there's harmony between the man and the woman, the dance happens, music happens. And so that's what we're looking to do. And then, of course, because I love to play, I love to do humor and comedy, we're going to do healing through humor,
Okay, can you
which
can you
is
give us a little bit of a, how do you say that in English?
a
Test?
little bit of taste, a little bit
Taste.
of
Yeah, thank you. Taste.
little taste. Well, it's hard to really give a taste of what the Healing Through Humor workshop is because
Yeah.
it's based on who shows up. But in a nutshell, it's people come in, they're in pain.
Okay, I am
Life's
in
not,
pain. Let's just create something somehow real here and make fun out of it so that we can see
yeah,
how it works.
okay.
So you know what
So
I did 2 days ago?
so what did you do? What did you
I
do?
finally did some physical exercises because my dear friend told me you need to train your butt, you need to train your inner thighs so that your knees don't hurt as much as they did before. Look something up in the internet and do those practices. So after weeks, I finally did it. I found something. I think it was only 7 minutes for my inner thighs, and I did those exercises exactly like the lady showed. And I heard my right knee really like, and I know that because I knew that there is nothing in between. There's bone on bone. So okay, I ignored it. And now the end of the thing is that over 2 days, day two, that was yesterday, it was the worst. I have a knee like at least double size. It hurt like hell. So,
So so the first question I have is that number one, why were you doing an inner thigh exercise by yourself?
oh, good question, because there was nobody else.
Well, could you get a partner? I think there would be a different area that would be swollen if there was a partner involved.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that would not have been as painful as this one. You're right.
I think, well, you are the pleasure
Yeah,
alchemist, so almost like following someone else's instructions brought you the opposite of what you're actually built for.
exactly. You
So
hit the
sometimes,
nail. The nail? No, the
yeah, nail on the head.
nail
That's
on the
that's the
head. Yeah,
expression.
exactly. Yeah.
Although it seems like it seems like the hammer hit your knee.
So, it's already uplifting to have that conversation with you. Way better than, yes, last night, laying alone here in my bed, putting my leg up high, and really, oh, it's so painful. It's so painful.
And what you brought up an interesting point, like many times in the chiropractic clinic, not always because the way that I work isn't I don't attract a lot of people that are in pain all the time, although, I do. But most people come in because they know that coming to see me, the whole system is going to function at a higher level. So they're already um, more aware that there's another way. But when someone is in pain, what are they focused on? They're
On
focused
the
on the
pain.
pain, and they're focused on trying to get rid of the pain.
Mhm.
And as we all know, the body doesn't speak English, it doesn't speak German, it doesn't speak Italian, it speaks pain or loss of function. So it's hurting, there's a communication, it's saying it needs something. But we've been socialized to not trust that. We've been socialized that that's wrong, and we want to shut it up.
Mhm.
So many times it's like a little child that's screaming, you're sleep deprived. It's like you want to just put a gag in its mouth and put it in the closet, but that's not the loving thing to do. The best thing to do is get the child, try to calm it down so that it can at least communicate what is going on. So same thing many times with the body. Can we calm it down so that it's like,
Yeah.
and from that calm space, now there's more opportunity to hear what's the communication.
Yes.
Also, in that process, too, and this is where the healing through humor comes in, it's like, can we play with the situation? Can we make fun of the situation? Can we have fun with the situation? It's like, okay, well, your knee's
It
swollen.
looks really
All
funny.
right. Yeah, well, you can draw some pictures on it and just go,
Oh, thank you.
my,
I should have known that yesterday. We should have had that talk before. So I really posted this enormous knee
well,
without the cut.
post, post another picture, color it in and going, my right knee needs to go on the keto diet. It's just not following the protocol.
This is the difference. I can laugh about those things, but
Hmm.
maybe because I'm German, I don't get these ideas by myself. I need somebody like you to tell me how to laugh. To
Well,
laugh.
as another, for instance, I had a woman a number of years ago come in really stressed out, and this is also what got me curious about the coaching is that people would come in and you're doing the body work on them and they're making great changes, but then they go, what next? Like, I'm not happy in my relationship or I'm not happy in
Yeah.
my job. And I had nothing, I could refer them to some people, but as we know, there's different forms of coaching out there and other forms. It's not to say they're good or bad. Many times they just focus on what the person says. Oh, I want to
Hmm.
uh, open up a dog washing business. All right, let's get this happen and no one stops the world to go, well, what does your heart really want? What
Exactly.
is your gut? What does your soul really want? Like what enlivens you? And then when it comes from that, it's more in alignment with their life force. It's more aligned with who and what they are. So that's what got me curious about the coaching. So this woman comes in and she had agreed to have her mother-in-law, who was suffering with dementia, come live with them. And I said, how's that going? Oh, it's okay. I said, are you okay with that? Oh, yeah, it's my husband's mother. And you could tell she wasn't okay with that. I'm like, now how are you really with it? Oh, it's my husband's mother and everything else. And so to joke around with her, I said, well, do you know if she has dementia or not? Well, this is what the doctors say. I go, well, I might be able to help you out a bit. And she goes, what? I go, I am from New York, and I am from the Bronx, and I am Italian. Tell you what we're going to do. How about we take your mother-in-law, we take her for a ride, 200 miles away. We give her some food, let her out of the car, and we go back home. If she finds her way back, we know she's full of crap. She don't got dementia. And she's like laughing. And I go, and when your husband says, where's my mother? Going, we took her for a ride. We'll see if she makes it back. Now, as wrong as that is, we'll probably get some people writing it, that's terrible. It's like, we didn't do it. I just made up a story about it. She ended up rolling on the floor laughing hysterical. And not that she would ever do that. It's just, but the whole idea of it, it broke the trance that she was trapped.
Yeah.
And so once she can laugh at it, it's like she worked out something. I think they still kept the mother there. But she didn't have the same anger or frustration towards the husband and towards the mother-in-law or the guilt towards herself.
Exactly.
So
let us, all the people know where they can see you.
Well, they can private message me.
Okay.
Leah's handling all that because we had changed the schedule a little bit, so it's not fully fine-tuned just yet. But if you want to private message me.
And you're on Facebook with Vinnie Monaco, huh?
Yep, Vinnie Monaco. Okay. You can also reach me at Dr. Vinnie Monaco on Facebook.
Okay. You have 2 pages. Good to know.
That's a way of keeping in
Yes, touch. Exactly. So, thank you, Vinnie. That was very interesting.
My whole philosophy, and similar with yours, it's like we are these amazing beings, and we just get caught up in the world of the mind and the world of emotions. And many times we think those are real, and we listen to those. And all the mind or the emotions are twisted perceptions of certain things that our body is communicating from its interaction in the environment.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if our gut, if our gut, our heart, and our soul are in alignment, we can trust that. But that's where that's where having other players that really look out for our own aliveness are very, very important, because we could get it wrong. We could be really off and make rash decisions based on our own perception. And the perception is just one little piece of the puzzle.
That's so true.
So I feel, your journey and my journey, and, because you're on tour as well, is we're here to bring people back to their natural state, which is ease, which is pleasure, which is joy, which is love.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then from there, where can't they go? They can go anywhere that they want.
This is a wonderful closing word, Vinnie. Thank you for that.
And thank you for the opportunity to play with you. It's so cool to be on this call with you.
Yes, and thank you to the viewers, also of the replay.
Yes.
And I will put the links to his page so that he can get in contact with him if you like. And I can highly recommend that. He's a brilliant coach, not only performer.
Yes, and also I've had body work done by Klana, and in fact, when I was last with you in Ibiza, it was a really stressful time, and you worked on me twice, and it just, I don't know where I went, but my whole body just felt like it ended up in a puddle.
Okay, let's stop here, and maybe the puddle story follows.
Cool.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.